Lisa Gigliotti is the director and an administrative law judge for the Michigan Administrative Hearing System, as well as an accomplished author of the Coraggio book series, Lessons on Living from an Italian Grandmother Despite Illness, Pain, and Loss. Under Governor Engler, Lisa served as the Human Services Policy Coordinator for the state of Michigan, and more recently has been a big part of Michigan's durable medical power of attorney policies. She is also an experienced MG patient and runs the website withcourageican.com. Please welcome Lisa as she gives us tips on managing chronic illness with courage and resilience.
Hello, and thank you to the Myasthenia Gravis Foundation of Michigan for inviting me to participate in the 2020 annual conference. It is particularly meaningful to me as a person living with MG for more than 25 years to share with you what I have learned along those years. In particular, the use of courage, or Coraggio as they say in Italian, to help me forge ahead through life's challenges and toward a meaningful outcome. I also want to share what I have learned about the building of resilience, which I believe has courage as a foundational building block. So, what is resiliency? Resiliency does not mean that you are tough enough to avoid feeling fearful or sad over a situation. Instead, resiliency means that you may experience anxiety or depression about a stressful life situation, but you manage to not allow the stressors and emotions to determine the outcome of your life. You take a high-level view, believe you will grow from the challenges, and begin taking charge over aspects over which you have control. Resiliency is not merely bouncing back from difficult experiences. It can serve as foundation for profound personal growth. Dr. Zelana Momini, author of the book 21 Days to Resiliency, explains resiliency as being capable and strong enough to persevere in adverse or stressful conditions and to take away positive meaning from that experience. I have accepted these personal growth opportunities as an obligation to reach back and help another person who's encountering struggle. For me, with the badge of resiliency comes a responsibility to help others build resilience. The story of my myasthenia gravis diagnosis is rife with opportunities to build resilience, and therefore I share with you now. In the summer of my sophomore year of college, I was strong, healthy, and pursuing a path toward medical school. Suddenly, excruciatingly painful, swollen joints left me curled in a ball. My family doctor diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis and explained the degenerative disease was a severe case and I would not be able to attend medical school, and I would need others to care for me. I immediately brought the news to my Italian grandmother, who tried to encourage me by saying in Italian, Coraggio, Lisa, or have courage, Lisa. I moved to California where my mother and Hungarian grandmother lived, and I graduated from college. But in those few years, the autoimmune disease had eaten a lot of the cartilage in my joints, and I was unable to walk, and it made agonizing the use of my arms. I moved into my mother and grandmother's apartment where they fed and bathed me. On the day before Christmas Eve, they were tragically killed in a car accident. The emotional blow seemed unbearable, but I needed medical care. Within days started symptoms of double vision, slurring of words, arm weakness, and choking when swallowing liquids. I was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis and hospitalized, where I received plasmapheresis every other day. I was moved to a nursing home, which allowed me to continue plasmapheresis, but was isolating and undignifying. You may feel that with myasthenia gravis, you have no control. For me, when the nursing home staff left the room with my wheelchair or call button out of reach, I felt as if I had no voice. When they were short-staffed and suggested to use a diaper in case they were delayed answering a call, I felt a loss of dignity. And when I was denied speaking to the dietitian about reevaluating a choking risk because of swallowing, I felt like I had lost all control over my life. In the middle of a desperate night, I recalled my grandmother's words, Coraggio, Lisa. And I realized I had that same courage within me that my maternal ancestors did, and that they used to carry them forward with meaningful lives despite unfathomable hardships and poverty in World War II. I used that same courage to propel myself out of the wheelchair through law school and careers as advisors to the Michigan Senate and the governor, and then as an administrative law judge, all through 13 surgeries. And the experiences of adapting to the adversities to shape a meaningful life was building for me a core of resiliency. The With Courage I Can message reveals that no matter how dire a situation, there's always an aspect over which you have control. That life philosophy certainly put the test over the past months of 2020. Suddenly it felt as if I had no control again, this time over an evil virus that was ravishing the country of my ancestors and invaded my own town. I wondered if the Coraggio tenets to take charge of your health and joy could stand up to the isolation of pandemic or the anxiety of the unknown infection or continued unemployment for myself or my loved ones, or tasks over which I had control, such as shopping for my own food or singing with my weekly music group. Now that was barred. How could resilience be possible in this foreboding and solitary setting? Building resiliency starts with the courage to take charge of the aspects of your life over which you have control. When diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, it may seem impossible to find any aspect to control because no matter how strong you try to control the movement of your muscle, there's no cooperation. There's a similar perception when confronted by an unseen and deadly pandemic and its isolating and economic fallout. I want to give you 3 tips to taking charge of the aspects of your life over which you have control. Ready? Step 1, realize there are aspects of your life over which you have control. Step number 2, identify the aspects of your life over which you do have control. Step number 3, take charge of the areas of your life you identified as having the power to control. Are you ready? Let us start with attitude. You are the person in control of your attitude. That is an indisputable fact. And as you are the person in control, take charge of your attitude. How? Reframe your thoughts about a situation. Esther Land has had MG for 60 years. Yes, I said 60. She had been an avid baseball player until her diagnosis. Instead of letting devastation at no longer being able to play prevent her from finding meaning in her life, she reframed her attitude to recognizing that every baseball team needed cheerleading from the stands. Participating as an observer in a sport she loved brought continued meaning to her life. And I believe the amazing feats she accomplishes is due in part to her making a choice of her positive and energetic attitude. You can take charge of your attitude by changing a habit to a healthier one. Do you have a habit of ending your day by falling asleep on the couch while watching TV, but regret it when you have to wake up and get into your bedroom? Sleep is important to your health, especially if you have MG or are caregiving for a person with MG. The simple act of leaving the remote outside of the bedroom and having a lighthearted book or magazine or daily devotional waiting for you at the bedside, it signals your brain that you are in charge of your attitude toward maintaining a healthy and cherished body. Stay resilient. Find a purpose. A key to staying resilient is to find a purpose. It does not need to be a commitment or complicated COVID-19 lockdown example of do for others. A simple act of kindness occurred when, unbelievable at the time, we were not able to gather as a family for the Easter holiday this April. Instead of feeling destroyed and eating all of the European chocolates and delicacies that I had purchased for my family, I packed them in gift bags, and on Easter morning, I hung them on the front doors of elderly neighbors and talked with them from their driveways. They might not otherwise have had human contact, laughter, or a holiday European treat that day. And I was not with my family, but doing for others, that simple act of kindness grew my resiliency. How can you take charge of finding purpose in your life today? Well, the MGMI, they're always in need of volunteers for events to participate, even in the pandemic isolation. And you can see from the photo that a socially distanced support group meeting a few weeks ago had a great turnout. Stay resilient, stay positive. The news reports of the pandemic's devastation on a global scheme and the personal story of its impact on families and communities can feel overwhelming. Ask yourself who you want to be through the daily turmoil and as an outcome of the adversity. Will you allow yourself to feel overwhelmed and immobilized? Will you be a person who helps others feel hope and experience goodness? It is important to stay connected during a period of social distancing and to choose interactions with positive people and foster joy, calm, and support between you. On calls with friends during the pandemic isolation, I asked the person with whom I was speaking to tell me their favorite act of kindness that they had been a recipient of, had bestowed, or had observed. Plan stories to evoke laughter and express gratitude and emit hope. The act of laughter can release in your brain feel-good chemicals. I added the Corona Lisa image to make you laugh as it laughed when I first saw it. The concept of neuroplasticity, put simply, is the brain's ability to kind of reassess its tracks. For example, changing automatic negative thoughts to positive thoughts, it can change your brain's patterns to optimism and cheerful. Not only will you be stoking positivity in others, you'll be reinforcing your ability to bounce back from adverse situations by using positive emotions to cope. You can build emotional resilience even in the worst of a pandemic. Stay resilient. Fortify your brain and body. Okay, let's admit it. There are a lot of jokes about how quarantined food overuse led to stretchy waistband outfits. As tempting as it is to fill the void of isolation and boredom with low nutrition munchies, or to quell our anxiety with a big bowl of comforting, calorie-dense yumminess, have courage to reject the temptation by recalling your commitment to using adversity to build coping skills and resiliency. Take charge to consume nutritious foods to keep your muscles and nerves primed, critical for healthy living with myasthenia gravis. A balanced diet and plentiful water will help your brain be peak performance and physical performance, coordinating all your body systems and fostering mental alertness and balancing mood. Practicing taking deep breath along with Alicia's mindful breathing videos on the MGMI YouTube channel will help keep your lungs strong. And start dancing to your favorite song or walking. These will all keep your heart and muscles strong. Caring for your body and brain, it kind of signals your psyche that you'll not only survive, you will thrive through adversity. Stay resilient. Get peace of mind. Another means to stay resilient is to foster an inner feeling that no matter what the future holds, all will be well. For me, to foster that sense of calm, I took care of my advanced care planning. In the state of Michigan, you can record what types of healthcare treatments or procedures you do or do not prefer through a document referred to as the Durable Power of Attorney for Healthcare. There are different types of powers of attorney. For example, for finances, but in Michigan, the Durable Power of Attorney for Healthcare is called a designated patient advocate. As it sounds, you will be able to designate a person you know and you trust to express the healthcare choices you would like if you become unable to express those wishes yourself. You do not need an attorney to create the document. You only need witnesses to sign the document. A link to a free form you can fill in from your home is in the next slide. For me, the peace of mind I found when completing my designated patient advocate form built on my base of resiliency. Stay resilient. Again, speaking of peace of mind, the Michigan legislature has available online a booklet where you can record in one place your important information for family and friends, such as the name of your doctors, your prescription and pharmacy, a statutory will, and the designated patient advocate form I described. The Peace of Mind booklet is available online at the State of Michigan Legislature website or by calling your state legislator and asking for a paper copy, and we've listed a web link there. A Michigan law was passed and became effective this year, which may also bring peace of mind for those whose myasthenia gravis results in slurred speech. The law will allow a person to designate in advance on their vehicle registration, driver's license, and state identification card that they have a quote-unquote communication impediment. And it's intended for the situation where a person may encounter law enforcement, for example, when pulled over for a traffic stop. While the law is geared toward people with autism, the language may be broad enough to include persons with myasthenia gravis because the definition of impediment is a health condition which impedes communication and is not limited to autism, deafness, hearing loss. While the law is only weeks old, the designation form may be available already in 2021 from the Michigan Secretary of State. A person will need documentation from their doctor when applying for the designation. To help build your resiliency, perhaps you would like to help MGMI get MG specifically listed as a health condition in the law. It's time to recognize and to add to your resiliency. As you use courage to identify areas of your life over which you have control, finding purpose, staying positive, and fortifying your brain and body, and take charge over those areas, fear, hopelessness, and anxiety diminish, allowing you to steer the outcome for your life. Congratulations! You successfully adapted to prolonged hardship. Recognize and affirm your growth in personal strength, confidence, and coping skills, adding to your storehouse of resilience. With courage, you can build resiliency. Coraggio!
Thank you, Lisa, for your heartwarming talk. If you would like to learn more about the recent communications impediment law and how you can help get MG and other neuromuscular illnesses covered, please visit our website, mg-mi.org. If you found value in this information, please consider a donation to the Myasthenia Gravis Foundation of Michigan. Your donation helps ensure that we can continue to offer this important info to our MG family going forward. You can donate by texting MGMI to 41444 or by visiting our website, mg-mi.org. Join us tomorrow for an inspiring talk on finding hope from West Michigan-based motivational speaker Jolene DeHeer.